This is Frank from WBUL. We're here with GG Allin, leader of the most violent band in the United States, according to himself.
Hey everybody, hope all is well with you and that things are cool in your world. Wanted to talk to you guys today a little bit about some GG Allin photography and some of the different sessions or whatever, not by me, but by a buddy of mine. But before I do that, I want to take a minute and thank you guys for tuning in and supporting the channel and taking your time to watch these videos and for subscribing and all that. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow and keeps me motivated to keep thinking of and telling these stories about GG, Tiny Tim, and some of the other characters. Anyways, so thank you. So, as I've told you in the other stories, I photographed GG in I don't know how many, maybe 3 sessions in North Carolina and a bunch more in Tampa. I think all in total I shot 500 or so negatives, have 500 or so negatives of GG. But there was another friend of mine that also shot GG on 3 different occasions in Florida. And his name was Frank Mullen. Now, this is not to be confused with the Frank Mullen, the singer of the metal band Suffocation. This Frank Mullen was the drummer for a legendary hardcore band in Florida, Roach Motel. Frank was a super awesome individual, never lost his cool, very even keel. He went on to have a pretty successful photography career. I think he ended up moving to Atlanta and did bunches of shows. I think he even shot presidents, and he did real well for himself. Got represented, I think, by Corvus, and you guys have all seen some of the images that Frank took. He took some at my house. He took some at the... Frank was with me when we went and Gigi got the rat tattooed on his head. In fact, some of the footage you may have seen Frank in from the tattoo session that Chris Kramer did with Gigi with the rat. You may have seen Frank. He's holding Gigi's head. But he did a bunch of photos after the tattoo session at Chris Kramer's house. He shot also at Club Spacefish. He was at that show, and here's one of the photos from that show that's been around everywhere. I think either Getty or Corvus has that, and you've seen that one. Classic image from the show. But Frank was a really good dude. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2009. In addition to his great photography work that he did, Frank was at the house. He came to my house one night when Gigi was there to do a photo session. And here's some of the photos. You've seen them. Actually, the one from Carnival of Excess that I use on the cover now of Carnival that was shot by Frank. Then there's the one where he's got his hand. Here it is right here on the sidewalk in front of my place. That's kind of a classic image also. So Frank was really, he was a pro photographer. I mean, my photography, I'm a hack. I got lucky and got some good images of Gigi, whereas Frank was, he was a real pro, and he was shooting all his film on 2x2 negatives. And again, here's some more of his imagery. He shot a bunch of Gigi at my house that day, and I met Frank at the Alternative in-store, the Alternative Records in-store in Tampa when we did that. I didn't know him now. I had seen Roach Motel several times over the years, because I was always going to hardcore shows, and, they were kind of a big Florida band. So yeah, I'm sorry. I met Frank at the Alternative Records in-store, and it was kind of funny because at first I was a little put off. He kind of muscled his way into, if for lack of a better term, into doing the photo shoot with the girls at my house there. You've seen footage and some of my images. Well, Frank was also there taking pictures. In fact, here's a shot that I took with Frank in the picture. So he got some really great shots that day as well. He came back on another occasion after the girls' photo shoot. He came over and to do another shoot with Gigi, and that was where the cover of Carnival and the sidewalk shoot came. But one of the other cool things that happened that evening was Frank also did the Bleedin', Stinkin', and Drinkin' interview. He was the one asking Gigi those questions. At the time, he was working for what's the station on there in Tampa? Maybe it's called WMNF or something like that down in Tampa, and he wanted to do this interview to play on the station. I think it aired there. I can't be 100% sure, but anyway, so Frank and I ended up a little rough at first, but then we ended up being pretty good friends. Throughout the years, we'd always talk Gigi, and he would share some of his photos with me, and then when he got, he started getting bigger and more successful in his photography career. It was really cool to see, because he had shot tons of bands in Florida, back in the day. So he was really good, a very talented, very cool, very smart individual. And like I said, if you guys were down there going to hardcore shows at the time or listen to Florida hardcore, you've heard Frank play drums on the Roach Motel music, albums, singles, whatever. So anyways, I just wanted to take a couple minutes and, acknowledge Frank. Rest in peace, Frank. We miss you. Again, he doesn't really get the credit out there in the Gigi world for his images, but they are some of the most iconic and classic images that are out there of Gigi. So it was really cool that he was able to get those. So anyways, like I said, I just wanted to take a couple minutes and acknowledge him, his photography, his skillful interview on the Bleedin', Stinkin', and Drinkin' interview, and just overall let you guys know what a great dude he was. So, like I said, he died in 2009, and rest in peace, Frank. All right, well, thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you like the little story and enjoy Frank's photography, and I will see you on the next one.
This is GG Allin, and when I'm in Florida, I'm jerking off on WBUL in Tampa.
Okay, try another one. I just want to do something and leave space in between.
This is GG Allin in Tampa, Florida. You're listening to WBUL, and we're stinking and drinking and bleeding. Fuck that one. Bleeding, stinking, and drinking. Let's do it again. Okay.
Yeah, make sure there's a little bit of quiet before it.
This is GG Allin. I came here to work, but I'm bleeding, stinking, and drinking in Tampa, listening to WBUL, wherever that is.
Do a couple more.
BUL, Tampa, GG Allin.
Okay. Try one more with the jerking off.
When I'm in Tampa jerking off and panty sucking, I'm listening to WBUL. Let me do that again. Did I say Tampa?
No, you didn't.
Okay, this is GG Allin, and when I'm in Florida, which isn't very often, I'm jerking off to the background of WBUL in Tampa.
That's good. All right.
That might be the best one.